Hey, Foundry developer community, and the larger Foundry community, and maybe even some Svelte community folks might check this out. I'm working on something called the TyphonJS Runtime Library, TRL. It's a modern kind of application desktop UI framework. Um, Now, I just upgraded things to Vite and got hot module replacement, HMR, working very, very smoothly. And it's pretty amazing what you can do with it. And so I am just going to jump over to the box here. And yeah, you can edit the CSS. It's all in real time. It's just super fantastic. I mean, not only just like editing it in a static sense. Let's throw some animation on here. Actually, I'm just going to do a new GSAP timeline. So while we're actually, you know, modifying or having the animation going, it's just doing everything in real time, and it's just super cool. I mean, let me back these out here. All right, back to our rectangles. I'm just gonna go reverse here. Oops, actually, that's fine. Starting over again. So yeah, here's in the template. If I take out the style background, boom, no more background. It's just that cool and that easy. If I want to edit something up here on this button, I'll just go to the box header. Say I want to add 15 boxes instead of 5. Now let's hit that. Goes there. I'm just gonna remove it all. So we get 15 boxes. It's just that simple. And I mean, I I I, I mean, so what really makes TRL awesome compared to the say some of the other view integration on Foundry is that this entire application window is controlled by Svelte. And so that means all the hot module replacement stuff. And shoot, I should have given this shout out earlier. I have to give like some great thanks to Rixo and Dominic on the because they both there's two packages, a Vite plugin for Svelte and the Svelte HMR package. I was able to get some help with finding out about an experimental API that made all this like really, really possible. And they helped me out with some other stuff. So I got to give hats off to them. I really appreciate their help. But hey, let's jump over to the store. So the box store here. Let me just open it up. Let's go to the box. Box store. So that box store is what controls all the different elements. When we add 50 elements, it's coming in through the box store here. So this is kind of cheesing it, but I'm just gonna make like some spaces here. So it doesn't actually like re-render. It just removes all the elements. It loads the store again, basically. And so there's no elements. You can just add more. And another refresh to the store. They're all gone, but it doesn't refresh the browser or anything like that. It's just super, super fast and super cool. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the Vit Config because it's going to be a little bit different from like the rollup setup. Actually, you should go check out the Vit config options. There's a bunch. There's a bunch that duplicate or the functionality that you would have with different rollup plugins. There's a bunch of functionality built in. But I wanted to set things up so that the repo, the demo repos, and some of my other projects, I actually kind of prefer to just directly install the repo into the Foundry data modules section. So I want to kind of talk about the Vit config here and what you have to do when you clone the template config. This one is actually the essential Svelte ESM. So you're going to want to look for like there's going to be like a couple locations, of course, a couple comments or whatever. But you basically have to go through here and you have to either, if you're in systems, if you're developing a systems and your system name or your module ID right here. So you have to go through and you have to change that. The proxy settings, this is interesting. So this kind of gets back to deploying in the modules directly. A little tongue twister there. So to do that, you have to deploy the deployable assets that before was going into a dist or a distribution directory with the rollup thing. And we'll talk about, you can set that up with Vite, but to be able to deploy directly into the repo, you have to have your distribution assets at the project root. So that's what this index and style JS or CSS is. I don't check those in. You generate them, and when the GitHub action is updated to pull all the resources in that it's supposed to. The reason we have to do that is basically because of the module manifest. That looks ugly. Hey, Ghost, let's get that manifest schema updated, huh? It's eyesore. Anyway, to be able to run the bundling and the dev server, and the dev server uses ESBuild. It's super, super fast. That's why those updates were happening so fast. And all the HMR is transparent. You don't have to write any sort of import metahost code or anything like that. It's fantastic. So to get it to bundle and serve the dev server, when you're in the actual dev server, this is the source root, so it has index here. But the module JSON file, we can't reference a distribution directory, like we were able to do with the rollup build. And so we have to deploy to the main project repo here for the distributables, because that'll match the same level as the dev server here. But you can, if you do want, Vite has tons of options. Definitely go check it out. I still think there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me. I spent a lot of time, got things pretty solid how I like it. But you might not like it that way. You might want to change things up. But just remember, you have to go through here. You have to change your ID to whatever your ID is. And one thing I love. This is just fantastic too. I use WebStorm. I'm a big fan of WebStorm. It's super easy to set up debugger windows. By default, I have this, you'll have this open here on the server. It'll be to game. So it's going to open the main game in a browser window. I turn that to false, and I just set up another dev. So you have to use localhost, but the server port usually will be just one above. If you don't have multiple servers running or whatever, it'll be one above 30,001. And the actual Foundry thing here is so I'll have the IP address and 30,000. So if I want to load Foundry directly and test things out, I have one debug configuration, and here I'm hitting the debug server or the developer server, and so you get full debugging and breakpoints and all this stuff with all the HMR. It's just fantastic. I gotta say, there's a package jam happening right now. It just started, and got a month to create something cool. Why don't you use a tool like TRL that's gonna make your progress fast? And not only are you gonna be able to do fast development faster than your competition, quite likely your competition's going to be using TRL, and they're going to be able to pull off some amazing stuff. So definitely check it out. I'm super excited about this. I mean, yeah, it's if TRL was throwing rocket fuel on Foundry development, we're jumping straight to nuclear fusion. It's that big of a deal with this Vite and HMR update. So anyway, hey, thanks for tuning in, and catch you later.